let me tell you a bit more about the hackathon. Who was there last year? Quite a lot. And who is planning to go in April already? Wow, that's cool. It's really cool. I think what Bram also just expressed is everything we've done so far in technology. I mean, it's part of a huge wave. If you look at what Loyens & Loeff is already doing. But blockchain brings out all kinds of new challenges, also to the laws and to the rules and the regulations. For example, and Michiel notified me about it, at the London University they figured out that something that is virtual and, well, is it really ownership? How can you prove that? Okay, if you have the key. So what if I have 2 bitcoins in my wallet? I lose the key, and 3 years later, I find it back. Was I owner of the bitcoins in those 3 years or not? Who says I was the owner of the bitcoins in those 3 years? My key was lost. Okay. Who says I was not owner of the bitcoins? Right. All right. So these are all kinds of new questions, I think, right? And it's interesting to prove to the Dutch tax authorities, for example, on the at the end of the year if you owned those bitcoins, right? Or for them to prove if you owned them. So therefore, therefore it's extremely exciting that last hackathon, for example, there were over 10 legal experts from Loyens & Loeff helping the teams. And what we get back from the teams is that they figured out solutions to problems that normally would take weeks or even longer, and then you're not even sure if the solution or if the information you've received is right. So at the hackathon you can figure it out together, and that makes you able to leap certain issues you come across as a team. So already gave away a bit, but let me take you back for a short moment to last year and then dive into that a bit further.
Can you imagine your solutions impacting 1 billion lives?
We can't talk about blockchain all the time. We have to talk about what it is doing. And we have to think through how this is actually changing our society for the better.
We got a choice to make about how we run this planet. I think it's very important that the human race becomes adult, and I think blockchain is an essential technology to facilitate that transformation.
We are going to do things fundamentally different. The question is how, and that's where people here find the answers.
There is a lot of good ideas. Some of them are really short-term benefit that can really make life better for everybody. Some of them are really futuristic. They will happen in the next 5 to 10 years.
I think the government also has a responsibility not to stay behind, but to be part of the front-runner group. You bring together the coders, you bring together people with the creative ideas, and the potential clients, the government and the corporates. I think that is really powerful.
We created a blockchain solution that is creating transparency in the whole distribution chain of medicine, especially in countries in Africa, where we have created provenance so that at the end of the road we can confirm that the medicine is authentic by the time it reaches the patient.
Our solution is that we create pension awareness for millennials via microtransactions. They can see that they invest €1 of deposit money from plastic bottles, and they can see that it'll be worth €14 when they retire.
The problem is that in medical research, participants are not well informed about how they can contribute their data. So we built a matchmaking platform to link data donors to researchers in such a way that their privacy is preserved and they are well informed about all the opportunities.
We solved the problem that when you move, the worst case scenario is that you get disconnected due to miscommunication between the operator and supplier. And we gave insight real time to all involved parties, that everybody always know what the contract status is of your energy switch.
Our solution is a solution for the supply chain of wheat. We have a transparent way to track the production, selling of wheat to end users in such a way that the end user remains anonymous where necessary.
We came up with a self-conscious house which tracks its own life cycle and helps the owner of the house with maintenance decision making and suggests on improving itself.
So we've put blockchain on drones, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff with this. You can go explore rainforests, you can do search and rescue, you can have drones delivering resources to build other drones. So we provided a whole ecosystem where drones can collaborate and solve all kinds of problems.
So a couple of winning teams are also in the space, so feel free to connect with them and to learn from them how their experience was. Also, especially after the hackathon, of course, because the hackathon is not a goal as such. It is a means to basically organize a complete market for everybody. You have the corporates and the government organizations that say, well, we have a challenge and we are looking for solutions, but we don't know which solution will actually help us the best. And it's up to the market to find out, not by sitting on the other side of the table, but at the same side of the table, I would say. One of the winners of last year, Oscar, mailed us with a question. So perhaps you can join me quickly. That's Oscar Persson, winner of the healthcare track, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So Oscar, can you tell me a bit what happened after the hackathon with your team briefly, because we have like 1 minute. I will.
For 24 hours, we were just sitting on a couch in my house and relaxing after the hackathon, not fully understanding what just happened. And then a lot of things happened at the same time. We got a lot of grants coming in. We had secured a position with our first customer. And it was really the point when our idea, that was already a company for a year, got a lot of traction from various sources. We got really international recognition and a lot of support from DutchChain and various other organizations, so that's when things really hit the fan.
So now you have this client, and you also have a question for the ecosystem.
I do.
You have a project you're opening up.
So I would like to actually invite you all to participate in our project, and let me tell you a little bit about it. So what we're doing at Consens is connecting citizens like you, like me, like us, to medical research. We would like medical research to be fairly accessible for everyone and personalized to your needs. However, there is a problem, and this problem is that research is very costly and data collection is very expensive. So the bottleneck is the process of collecting consent, collecting permission for your data to be used. Clinical trials, pharmaceutical research, medtech devices, all the wearables, and especially AI health assistants, they all need informed consent in order to process your data and offer you this personalized treatment. So what we do is we streamline participant recruitment for those clinical trials, and we take them through a fully digital informed consent collection, and on the side of the researcher, they get a tool for consent management. So we're using privacy-preserving technologies. We have a decentralized aspect in there, and we are working a lot with homomorphic encryption now. All those tools are in order to preserve privacy and make our tool entirely compliant with the existing regulation. So what we are in need of now is scaling up our solution. We're looking for more customers that also are in need of an e-consent tool. And we are looking for more contacts in pharmaceutical companies, especially, and biobanks. Now, the most important thing that we are doing is we're setting up a consortium to build this a part of the supply chain of personalized value-based healthcare, of which consent is sort of the first step of the process. We would like you to be part of this consortium as well.
Cool. Great. So anyone who is in the medical, healthcare, pharma sector, connect with Oscar and yeah, see how we can get that consortium up and running. Thank you so much, Oscar. So preparing for a hackathon, it takes a bit of time to really grasp the challenges that we have gathered for you. So therefore we have organized a full week of events. It's like 15 events in 1 week, in the first week of February. And we'll start with the tech deep dive, where really we take, of course, the technical point of view for all the types of blockchain, from varying from Bitcoin to Ethereum to also the more hyperledger types, big chain, of course, and also the challenge deep dives. So are there any challenge owners here at the moment? Yeah, can you please stand up so that everybody can see you? Because these are the potential clients, future clients you can get at the hackathon. You can work with them. So please, during the breaks, also take a moment to connect with them and ask them about what will happen at the deep dives, and especially what they have for you at the hackathon. It's the best opportunity you have to get a head start at the hackathon. Because then you can already prepare as much as you want. And of course, it's important to know that the registrations will be open for 3 weeks, starting on January the 28th. After the hackathon, for the winning teams, we are currently setting up with a couple of partners a specialized acceleration and incubation program to really help you make progress with your team, whether that needs venture support, consortium building, getting funding. Well, these are basically the 3 types of help we can provide after the hackathon. Why work with blockchain when probably for a lot of solutions you can use a normal database as well? Actually, I think what we are all working on is creating collaborative, interconnected communities. But most of all, it's important to find out what these communities need in order to be successful. Blockchain for an organization, we still have to see what is the benefit of that. Blockchain for open collaborative networks have been proven to be successful already. Right. So we look, especially also with our partners and all the challenge owners, for what we can do in the public space and create new digital public infrastructure, where basically everybody can use that infrastructure to build on top of. Can we unlock new second layer protocols? Second layer protocols which enables us to do new stuff in new types of collaboration, whether that is on a local scale or a global scale. Probably it's both. And on top of these new protocols, new applications can be brought to the market. And this is the competitive side of the market. What we are learning now, and I see that as the past year, is that if these protocols are not open, are not usable by everyone, or if they are owned by a single entity or just a couple of entities, it's not flying. So this is an extremely interesting part. We are basically working on extending the internet, where we already have email and the HTTP protocol, with new protocols which allow us to do new things. And the example on top of the protocol layer are just an example for instance, supply chain integrity. But the interesting part is that with each new protocol, we unlock a new market. So therefore, also in preparation, if you look at the challenges we present, look if you are going to build a protocol solution or an application that uses a protocol. But I think a lot of pilots have been done, and a lot of these pilots have discovered that the infrastructure to enable everybody to work with it is missing. And this is what we need to create, right? Because, right, everybody can build the IT solution. But in the end, it's all about adoption. I mean, most of you use email, right? So it's an adopted protocol. And therefore, we invite you to use the hashtag commonization. We see commonization of a process that is a bit different than digitization or decentralization. It's a process of really thinking through what needs to be part of the commons. So basically what everybody can use and what nobody can own. And what needs to be on top of that in order to enable your clients to work with that protocol. To wrap it up, I think it's time to, you all, write an important piece in the new chapter of cryptocurrencies and the new chapter of blockchain. We can move beyond the worst version of Wall Street and use cryptocurrencies, what they can actually bring as a benefit to society and to our economy, not just another tradable asset. And on the other hand, go beyond, well, the blockchain bullshit bingo, I would say, where a lot of projects are creating basically semi-centralized stuff, and really think about the change we need to make, because if we recreate the same world we already have, we solve nothing really big. And that's what we want to ask from you, to solve big things.